Okay, first and foremost, just hats off to Central Connecticut State University. I mean, they really played hard, and they were a formidable opponent, and certainly gave us a real battle, and appreciate them for that. Really proud of our young men. You know, it wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination. You know, up 7-3 at half. You know, I think that there could have been a tendency to panic a little bit, to tighten up. And I thought our guys came in at halftime and just made some adjustments. I think they calmed down a little bit. We corrected some of the errors that we were making, and we came out, we had a pretty darn good second half. I like the way we ran the football again. When you have a young quarterback that's growing into the position, and this is his first start, he's a true freshman, I think in order to make him feel comfortable, you have to be able to run the football. And we've been able to do that now 2 weeks in a row. I thought we played well on defense. I don't think we played great. We gave up too many explosive plays again. But our guys played hard, and that's was one of our points of emphasis this week. And then I think, you know, blocking the kick and blocking the punt certainly played a part in our win today. And I thought we covered kicks well as well. The things that we need to do better, start with the defense, is, you know, too many explosive runs again. And, you know, runs getting out on us. And I can't tell you exactly why. I can tell you that I think a couple of them were poor calls. I think a couple times we just didn't have great gap integrity, which we need to be able to do a better job of. And then offensively, you know, we have to be able to take care of the football. We cannot turn the football over 3 times and expect to win many games. So we've got to do a better job there. We've got to be able to close in the red zone. You know, certainly the interception at the end of the first half, we had a chance to go up 10-3, have some momentum going into the locker room, and Zion forced that one in there. Now, the positive thing about Zion Turner is he will learn from that. He's a very cerebral football player. He cares desperately about being a good football player. He learns from his mistakes. There are going to be growing pains when you play with a freshman quarterback, but if you can win a game and learn in the process, then that's the most important thing, and he will absolutely learn. And then we've got to have better operation on the field goal. There's absolutely no excuse for getting a field goal block. The ball came out low. Noah's got to get it up there a little bit. He's got to put more air under it. It was a 53-yarder, so it's going to come out a little bit lower, but he's got to be able to get it up over the line of scrimmage. I thought our protection on that was good. So listen, a lot of good, a lot of things that we can grow from, and a lot of teachable moments in there. And you know, these guys will celebrate this for 24 hours, and then we'll set our jaw and get ready for the next one next Friday night. I do want to say this. You know, coaching my first game at the Rent, not really understanding or knowing what to expect. The people that were there, you felt them. You know, you felt them. And the people that weren't there, hopefully they're there next Friday night, because we do feed off the energy. There is such thing as home field advantage. It's not a myth. It's real. And so we appreciate everyone who was there. Appreciate them being in there for kickoff, and hopefully Friday night at 7 o'clock when we take on Syracuse, we can get more people in there. I think it's going to be a great environment. I think having the lights on, the weather should be great. The smell of the grass. I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be real football. So hopefully we can get some more people there. But the people that were there were awesome. So any questions? Questions, guys?
What got you going offensively in the second half? Are you moving the ball a little bit better?
Taking care of the football. You know what I mean? Not fumbling it, because we were moving the ball well in the first half, but then we're giving it away. And you got to take care of the football. You know, I mean, the turnover ratio and the explosive gains ratio are the two things that you look at that are most closely associated with winning and losing football games. And fortunately today we were able to overcome having a negative turnover ratio because we ran the ball so well and we played good defense. But that's living on the edge, and we don't want to live there. So we've got to take better care of the ball, and we did in the second half.
Is there any sort of relief that comes from getting the first one?
Relief, probably, yeah. I haven't really thought of that. I mean, right now what I feel is just proud of those young men in there that have been through so much the last 2 years. I mean, the things that they've endured, the things that they've had to weather, the way that they've stuck together, the commitment that they've shown. I mean, it's almost overwhelming, really. You know, going through COVID, and we all went through COVID, but, you know, it was different for these kids. You know, they were very, 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 very isolated. You know, they missed a season, which not many people did. Last year, you know, they go through a season where they only win one game. Their coach quits on them, and they have to stick together. And they did stick together. And so, you know, you talk about that statement that, you know, adversity reveals character. Well, I think adversity has revealed the character of these young men, and it's high character. And so I'm just proud of them. I'm blessed to be able to be their coach. So that's, I guess, my relief.
7-3 coming out of the second half. Gordy, you had the sack. You see that as a huge turning point.
Oh, huge, huge, huge. Because they took the ball right down the field on us. And, you know, if they go up 10-7, you know, I don't know how we'll react. I think I know how we're going to react. I think we react positively. But, you know, Dow sneaking through there and getting the sack was a really big play for us, you know. And then, of course, you know, them hitting the field goal off the upright was big as well. Because 7-6 is, you know, that's just a little too tight.
Other than a win, did you see a step forward this week?
I did. And I'll tell you where I saw it is they're starting to believe. You know, they're starting to believe in themselves. They're starting to believe in each other. They're starting to believe in the process. And I shouldn't say starting. They've already started to believe in it. But they're really feeling it. You know, and they understand, I think, what it takes to be a winner. And I think they're prepared to make that commitment every single day. And that's one of the reasons it's such a joy for me to go to work every day, is because I get to be around these kids that are just like, they are just desperate to win. I mean, they're freaking desperate to win. And it's awesome to be in that environment as a coach.
What was the atmosphere like when you walked into the locker room after the game? Can you describe anything that happened or was said?
It was joyous. Yeah, they were very excited. You know, they celebrated with the band, which will become a tradition, hopefully here. Well, it will be. But then they got in the locker room and just, you know, it just felt good. You know, they were happy. And I love to see them happy, you know, and they were excited. And, you know, they brought Sweet Feet, Jake Flynn, to the middle and jumped all over him. And they brought Victor in there and jumped all over him. And, you know, that's what team does, is they recognize the contributors, you know, the walk-on, the freshmen, you know, that came in and played a big part in their win, and they celebrate those others that are on their team. And that, to me, that, like I said, I've talked you guys know, I've talked so much about the character of these guys and the lack of a sense of entitlement. That just, to me, was it in a nutshell.
So is the fact that it was a comfortable margin of victory important to you? It's probably important to those fans you're trying to get to come out next week. They've seen you kind of struggle in a lot of these games the past 10 or 12 years.
You know what? Here's how I look at it. I mean, I'm probably a little different than the average fan. Early in the year, I like a game where we have to struggle and win. I like adversity, because when you do struggle and you do overcome it, you do win, it builds confidence. Now, I hope our fans, I hope the people that are kind of on the fence a little bit about whether they want to jump in with us, I hope they give us the benefit of the doubt, you know, and I hope they jump in. And I can tell you this, if they do, they will be rewarded, you know. And I can't say that we're going to come out here and blow everybody out, but they are going to see a group of young men that play hard and that really care and that compete their tails off to the bitter end. And you know what? That's a hell of a start right there.
Is there concern over the drop passes or excitement that they turned it around in the second half and held on to some balls?
That's a good question. Yeah, there's always concern, you know. So we will go back and we'll be our own worst critic. I mean, and I told the guys in there, I said, hey, we're going to celebrate the win, but they will all on their iPad within an hour be watching the game. And I said, be as critical as you can possibly be on yourself. Okay? Be your own worst critic in this game. Yes, celebrate it, but look and find out what we can do better. And one of the things is catch the ball. And, you know, that's a receiver's number one job, is catch the football. And, you know, we've dropped some balls, but we've improved that, and we will keep improving it. I will say this about our receivers, is I thought their perimeter blocking was outstanding. Matter of fact, the official came up to me twice in the game and he said, hey, Number two, you got to talk to number two. He's on the edge. And I said, is he over the edge? He said, no, but he's on. I said, well, that's where we want him. We want him on the edge. So Nigel was blocking the heck out of people. So, that's something that goes unnoticed a lot of times in the run game is your perimeter blocking your receivers, and they did a good job.
Jim, you were able to get a little more pass rush pressure on them today. Williams was not really comfortable in the pocket. Well, you sent a couple of different blitzes. Was that part of the game plan going in?
It was. Yeah, I made the comment last week that I felt like I handcuffed the guys a little bit in terms of their ability to just tee off and rush the passer. And so we turned them loose a little bit more today. We brought more pressures. We felt like we had a little bit of a tip on their protection tendencies. But really it was just the men up front, and the coverage down the field, making them hold the ball. But I felt like the pressure was pretty relentless. And, I credit Kenny and those guys up front, just the way they put the plan together this week.
Coach, you put Kale in for a couple plays on a couple drives. Was that part of the plan coming in, or?
Kale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the plan in having him come in for just a couple plays on a couple drives? And is that something going forward you're going to do? Or?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Kale's a really good football player who's coming off of a shoulder, and he's starting to feel better and better and better. Nick's a creative guy, and Nick's going to find ways to get playmakers on the field. So far, really, when Kale's been in there, it's been run. We did have a pass day with him in there, but they covered it up, and he ended up having to run. But, I think Kale is gaining confidence in himself and his shoulder. It's feeling a lot better. I think that Nick is gaining confidence in Kale. And I think that he can be a real weapon. He's a 6'3", 210-pound player who can really run. He's very athletic. He's very smart. And we're not going to let weapons just stand on the sideline. So you'll see more and more of Kale Millman. He had a great moment in practice the other day. It was awesome. I mean, his teammates love him. He's a leader. He was running the service team, the scout team. So he was the Central Connecticut State University quarterback, and we ran the old Philly special, the reverse pass, and he caught it for a touchdown on the first defense, and he took that ball and he spiked that thing as hard as you've ever seen anyone spike a ball. I'm surprised it didn't go over the fence. And when we don't run a play right, we say, hey, reload it, reload it, reload it. And Kale starts yelling that. He's waving his hands, reload it, reload it, reload it to the defense. And, it was just awesome, So we love that passion out of all of our players.
Coach, what was the biggest improvement you saw of Zion this week, whether it was preparing for this game or just in game today?
Zion always prepares well. And I say always, I've only been with him for 2 weeks. But, he is a young man who has maturity. It is important to him. He's going to spend the time. He is able to create that Zoom focus that allows him to really get into the nuts and bolts of it. I think what probably impressed me the most was just a frustrating first half, throwing the interception when we had a chance to get at least 3 on the board. And yet, I'm sure it bothered him, but it didn't affect his performance. He still just went out and tried to play aggressively. I believe what you'll see out of Zion as we go on is a young man that we learn more about, and so we can put him in positions to be successful, all right? And a guy that plays more aggressively because he feels more comfortable doing what we're asking him to do. And I thought, that last one where he pulled it and he ran for the first down, that was an indicator of that. Last week he had some chances where he could have pulled it and ran, and he didn't. And as that game went on, he became more confident in that. We've got to do a better job in the pass game, and that'll certainly be a focus, but we have to make sure we're asking him to do the things he does well.
So what did you see from Victor Rosa that allowed him to earn a chance to get on the field as a freshman?
His work ethic, his attitude, his personality, his attention to detail, and he's a good player. He's tough, he's fast, he's strong, he's physical. Our players respect him. He runs hard. There are certain things that Coach Barthel looks for in running backs. It's a certain mentality, and Victor has that. It's been hard for him to, in the first 2 weeks, find a lot of play time because obviously Nate's played well, and Brian's played well, and Devontae's played well, and we've had Bernsey in there a little bit. He hasn't really carried the ball much, but he's in the rotation. But Victor got a chance today, and I think we saw in that last touchdown what he's capable of, and so I would assume, standing here today, that we'll see more and more of Victor Rosa. He proved something to us today.
Coach, you always talk about a 24-hour
Last question.
buffer period after the game. I'm wondering, what do you do during that time?
Well, the first thing I'll do is try to go home and fall asleep, and and then, you know, as coaches, you know, we're relentlessly hard on ourselves. We'll go watch the film and probably spend about 10 seconds on the good plays, and you know, we spend hours on the ones that we need to improve on. And that's really, if you want to be good at anything, that's what you have to do. You have to self-evaluate, and you be hard on yourself. And then we get back at it in the morning. You know, we'll watch this film, we'll make corrections, we'll apply the lessons learned, and then we're going to get on to Syracuse. You know, Friday night at 7 o'clock. I mean, it's going to be a great atmosphere. The lights will be on. I mean, we've got this amazing field that the crew here takes care of. I mean, there'll be that smell in the air that you love. You know, that whole that night game. I mean, man, I don't know why anyone would want to be in the rent on Saturday night, right? Dave? 7 o'clock Saturday night. I know I was thinking about high school football for a second. Jeez, but I think it's gonna be awesome, man. And like I said earlier, just so grateful for all the fans that were there tonight, and hopefully, you know, more say, hey, maybe we should go look at these guys, and that's our objective, is to make them proud. So thanks for everything. Appreciate it.